Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. Today I'm working in my Blue Edition Dina Wakley media journal and I'm going to be working on one of the watercolour pages. I've just added a thin layer of gesso and given it a quick dry, and then I'm going to be doing a face that's inspired by Marieke Blokland at blokland.nl. I love the folk art faces that she draws, and sometimes I do quite like to have a go at them. So I'm going to be doing one today using shades of black and grey. So I've just sketched out the face to start off with, and then I've got a water brush that's filled with some black ink, and I'm just going to start off by just drawing in some of the features that I've sketched out in pencil and just adding some of the ink to those. Now it didn't come out very dark, which I was a bit surprised about, and I wondered whether it maybe had settled a bit in the brush. I did end up giving it a good shake, but it was okay as a start. You'll see that in a little bit I swap and start using some paint which I water down, but this was okay for just sort of sketching in. So this was one of those moments where I'd started a page and I had an idea in my head where I wanted it to go, how I wanted it to look. And at this point I was starting to think, oh dear, I'm not really very happy with this. I don't like how it's going. I'm not very happy with how it's working. But just sometimes it's good to just keep going, because sometimes your work can evolve and change as you work on it, and it'll start to come together, which it did, and I ended up being a lot happier with it than I felt in the beginning. So you notice there that I just used some kitchen roll just to blot up some of the paint to lift a bit out. So because this is acrylic paint that I've watered down, you can treat it a little bit like you do watercolour paints, and you can lift it out if it's too dark. And that's potentially because it's on this watercolour paper, it's easier to do that with. So I'm just working on building up different areas of light and dark shades, adding in some shadows to the face, and then pulling out those shadows as well, and then drying what I've done and then going in and adding some more. So really just building up the layers. Then I'm adding the hair in. You can see I'm just doing wiggly lines down from the centre of the head, and then I'm just going to fill in this bit at the back at either side of the neck where the hair would be, just to help the face stand out a little bit more. So I'm using that kitchen roll all the time just to blot up areas where I feel it's either gone on too much, or it's too runny, or it's too wet. So next I'm using the Jane Davenport License to Quill pen, and I'm just going over some of the features using that pen, just going over the lines just to make them stand out a little bit more. If you've watched my channel before, you'll know that I often use this pen when I'm drawing faces. It is a really nice pen to use, and it is water fast as well, waterproof. So these are some Pitt marker pens in shades of grey. So I'm just using these, and I'm going in and just adding more shadows and depth to some of the areas. These pens are really great because you can smudge them as well, so you can add some sort of softer looking shading as well. Then I'm just using a white Posca pen there and just adding some marks onto the cheeks. And some catch lights in the eyes. And then I'm using a white gel pen, and I'm just adding some white squiggles onto the hair. So Marieke Blokland does have a course as well, where she focuses on drawing these folk dolls. They are definitely her signature thing. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can always have a look on her website and have a look at that course. I obviously thought she was going to have a tear there and drew it in, and then decided, no, I don't want her to have that, so rubbed it out. So even when you do something and it goes not how you wanted it to, you can alter it and get rid of it. So then I used Dina Wakley Sterling, which is one of her metallic paints. It's a silvery colour, and just painted in around the face just to give some colour behind her. But I wanted to keep it quite monochromatic and the same, so using a sort of a grey shade, but I liked the fact that it had a little bit of a shimmer to it. So next I'm going in with a baby wipe and a little circle stencil and just lifting some of the paint off. This is a really quick way to just add a bit of interest to a painty background. And then my signature dots, which I often do, bit of mark making, really simple mark making. Trying to decide which pen to use, I think being a bit indecisive there. And then this page was actually inspired by a song. I do quite often use song lyrics in my journaling. Sometimes I'll hear a song and think, oh my gosh, yes, that's an art journal page, definitely. This one was one of those. And there it is, there's the final page. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video.